Hey everybody, it's Will Venus, welcome back to my channel. Don't know what that moment was. Random, I suppose. How are you all? So, today I thought I would talk through my appointment, whichever one it is, at the place that's doing my autistic assessment. Oh, one of the cats has just came in. Not that you can see that, just thought I'd tell you. Sorry, I'm rambling a bit. This is the first time that I've had a proper conversation with anyone today because I've been working really hard today, which I'll show you in just a moment. If you're new here, hey, hi, welcome, subscribe, it would be lovely to have you here. Oh, and also, I've noticed that I've got a couple of new subscribers, so hey, at last, a couple of new ones, welcome. Everyone's welcome here as long as you're kind. Yeah, so, trying to remember how to talk again because I've not spoke really all day. I've been completely focused on this hairpiece that I'm making and related to wigs and things. This is going to sound absolutely crazy coming from little old me. Sorry, just checking the sound's recording. Oh, hang on. Here he is. Here's Phoenix. Are you finished yet? Yeah, I caught the moment on camera. I've been trying to get that on camera for ages and now it's just happened organically. Come on in, you settle down. Come on. You sit with me. There we go. Yes, so yeah, this past week it's been really crazy for me wig-wise because I have I've been making wigs for 3, getting on 4 years now, and I've never really been super busy, but now I'm booked until August. Do you mind? I'm trying to film something. Now he's settled, I can proceed. Yeah, I'm booked until August, which is crazy. This is like one of the moments that I've been waiting for well, ever since I started making wigs. If you're new here and don't know me, I make wigs for people that have lost their hair or that have had a hair disaster or just fancy a change or just anyone really that needs a lace wig that's made properly. And to have this, it's quite indescribable. I'm kind of lost for words here, I'll be honest. It's something that I've wanted for so long, and now that it's happening, it's not often that I get a break in life. I mean, I've only ever had a break once when I was asked to be an influencer on Appy. That's a health and fitness app, and it's like a new social media, and you're not cancelled or anything, and you're not trolled. Trolls are deleted instantly. If you want to download it, I'll link it in the description. But yeah, can you hear him? You purring, Phoenix? Don't know if that'll be able to pick up on the mic. Phoenix has got quite a soft purr. Yeah, so it's all go here, and if my face looks bright with the light, it means like a symbol for, you know, future being bright and all that. So yeah, it's happening, and I feel quite emotional, really. And one of my friends said, it's so good when you see good things happening to good people. You know exactly who you are. And it's nice to have people say that about you. Because in a world where all you really hear about is the negative things, I don't know why that is. Well, probably because it grabs more attention, headlines, money, whatever. Yeah, it's nice to hear about the positive things, so it's nice to be able to share that with you all. Anyway, getting on to my first, I don't know whether I should call it session, appointment, whatever, at the place that's doing my autistic assessment. What they said was they kind of just outlined what's going to be happening in the next few weeks, because the way that I would prefer it is if the the way it starts is it begins with like a lot of information gathering, so asking me about my childhood, teenage years, adulthood, and like now, and all that's been going on really. And in the session that I had on Monday, Monday, they were asking me why is it you think you're autistic, and I told them all about like I sometimes struggle with eye contact, which is maybe why I'm not able to completely focus on the camera. You'll notice that I do a lot of this and I can't really help it. I really struggle with struggle with things like social gatherings. I find them very awkward. That's a bit of an understatement, actually. I find them intensely awkward because I don't really know how to keep like a conversation flowing. I don't know how to naturally end a conversation. I find general chit-chat and things quite uninteresting. Sorry, excuse me. The cat's away now. Ugh. It's molting. Yeah, I find chit-chat boring, pointless. I would rather have like deep and meaningful conversations. I find a thing called masking it's very, it takes up a lot of energy. I don't mean that. I mean as in masking my autistic traits, as in me sort of blending into people that aren't autistic. So watching people and kind of witnessing how they place themselves, how they engage in conversation, where they put their faces, how they, like articulate themselves and things. So there's a lot of copying, and like my husband's autistic, and like you would never get two autistic people that are the same, and he's obviously got very different traits to me. And he asked me once, well, how is it that where did you learn all these skills from? And I said, I don't know. And then I went away and thought about it for many weeks. And I came back to him, and this might sound strange to some people, but it's just me. The way that I've managed to cope, or whatever you want to refer to it as, is by watching people on TV. So I watch shows that I really enjoy and watch how the actors portray those characters and where they position themselves, how they move, walk, talk, and behave and engage with each other. I don't think if I didn't have a huge interest in TV that I would be able to mask in this way. I'm very conscious about saying the word. It's because I'm concerned about it being linked with something else that's entirely unrelated, and this video being taken down. So it's not about that. It's about autistic masking. When I do that, it takes up a heck of a lot of energy. It's essentially me blending in and being able to be me. And one of the things I've really been struggling with recently is, well, if I don't do that, how can I be me? Because in my ideal world, I don't think I'd really converse at all. In In an ideal world, I would be indoors all the time. Not that I've got any fear about going out. No, I've not got agoraphobia or anything. I don't have a fear of going out. I don't have a fear of people. I don't have a fear of places or, going places. I just feel happy and content when I'm indoors. Because I'm looking around this room, I've got all the things around me in this room and, the other rooms in this flat or apartment, as my American friends will call it. I have everything I need within my home. I don't really need to go out other than to get, food or cat litter or whatever, but even those can be delivered, so does that make me sound odd? I only really like having conversations if they're deep and meaningful, and by that I mean like really helping people, really, if they've got a problem with, say, their anxiety or whatever. And I'm not a mental health expert by any sort of description. I really like to get to the root of people's problems and use my own experiences that I've had in the past and things with anxiety or various other things. And I would like to have deep conversations like that because I have great empathy for people. And that kind of busts the myth that autistic people have no empathy. That's completely untrue. I mean, people that are, that have been subbed to me since the beginning. My channel used to be called Well Empath. I identify as an empath, so I have great empathy for people. I have great care for people. I just don't have great care or interest for people that don't really have anything in common with me, because what's the point in chasing friendships or experiences with people that you don't have things in common with? I see that as a waste of time. I mean, not that I would go out of my way to say I don't like you, but got nothing in common. I think I would put it a bit more elegantly than that. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm just saying random things here. And I didn't actually know this, but well, until fairly recently, actually. I mean, I'm only speaking from my experience, as I can only do, but there is a great number of autistic people that when they get passionate about something and they're speaking about it, they kind of, or we, shall we say, this is the thing that I'm really frustrated about. I keep saying they. I don't really feel I have the right to say me because I've not been diagnosed yet. Which hopefully I will. I can't really think what else this could be. They kind of, we, whatever, kind of go off topic, and sometimes it takes a moment to just think to myself, what was I talking about again? Or like, I do some live streams for my wig work and things, and on my Instagram. So if you want to see a live stream, follow me and I'll do some live streams. But you need to tell me what the topic needs to be, because I can't just talk about anything random. I have to have things structured. There's another thing, I need to have structure in my life. And routine. If I have lack of routine, if I have lack of routine, I'm not great. If my day starts out of the routine, if my day doesn't start with the same routine as it usually would, the day goes completely off kilter. And so it's going to start with a lot of information gathering, and that's going to be once a week, and depending on how it goes, it'll be 3 or 4 weeks. Sometimes they can condense it into just a few meetings, depending on how much information they get. And so it'll be a lot of information coming from me, and it'll be a lot of information coming from I can't remember if the word is representative or informant. No, it's not about police. Yeah, so it's just going to be a heck of a lot of talking, and then I'll go through the ADOS assessment, which takes quite a while. And if you bear with me a sec, I'm going to check on my iPad what that stands for, so it'll be instant for you. I'll do a cut. So it's the Autism Diagnosis Observation Schedule. It says here, it's an assessment of social communication, social interaction, and play used in children and adults suspected of having autism spectrum disorder. I'm not sure if the play thing applies to me because I'm not a child. But I believe that when my husband had his assessment, there was like a story it had to put together, and it consisted of like a few different things, and he had to make a story out of that. I can't remember exactly, I'd need to ask him. So if you want to see me chatting with him on this channel, let me know in the comments, and I'll bring him in again. Or if you want to see what it looks like, what it sounds like, he's in the video that I did with him about our Italian adventure. You can see that on my playlist. Although, yeah, going back to these assessments and things, the guy there said, and he actually turns out to have the same surname as my real surname, which is familiar, comforting. The guy was really nice, actually. Really friendly, really professional, really put me at ease kind of thing. And he said to me, like, how do I put this? Although right now you don't really think of it as like something major, it will hit you. So what to do is just let us deal with all of that for you. And then I thought, do I really want to do that? Because, I mean, you know what I'm like. I've told you before, I really sit and do a lot of deep thinking, a lot of deep contemplation, I do a lot of thinking. That's why I've got all these grey hairs, I think. And being married. Don't tell Appy. Yeah, because, it is a major thing, isn't it? I'm in my 30s now, and all this time I've thought that there was something inherently, intrinsically wrong with me. But there isn't. It's just because my brain is slightly different to, the other average person in the street. And then it got me thinking about my childhood, how different I was as a child, because in Scotland we call it primary school, so you're aged either 4 or 5, depending on how advanced you are. You go from nursery to primary school, aged 4 to 5, and then you stay in primary school until you're about 11, 12, and then you go to secondary school. So in my early years in primary school, from what I can remember from the conversations with my mum, I didn't really make friends well, and if I did, it always had to be a one-to-one, no groups. And I'm not sure if this is linked to being autistic, but I wasn't great at reading, and as a young child, I aged 4 to 7. So the way that I managed to overcome that is, it was actually my dad's dad, my granddad, who said, get him to read the newspapers. Can't remember reading the newspapers, but I did read them, and my mum said that it really helped. So yeah, so there was that. And then it got me thinking to, going through my teenage years and being, teenagers, puberty and all that, it's tough enough as it is. Changing hormones, changing, your body changing, your voice changing. Well, mine didn't actually change until I was about 16, 17. I was quite a late developer. So that, coupled with not knowing how to speak or where to put myself, or where to put, I had this thing of where to put my arms. I know it sounds bizarre, but I didn't know where to put my arms. to stand like that in the street or with them in my pockets, or I just didn't know how to, do all that. I didn't know what the norm was, so I was very awkward. And of course that leads on to anxiety, and it did as I was a teenager. And then, it's not just that brought on anxiety and depression. There was other trauma in my childhood and adulthood that brought on anxiety and depression, but it didn't help. And then being a teenager, and then drinking, all the way until I was like in my mid-20s. And I also drank so I could feel something. Like a lot of the time I just felt nothing. Excuse me. Yeah, so I do think if someone had picked this up sooner, would my life have been in, like another direction? But as my friend Hedda always says, and various other people, everything happens for a reason. And I think possibly if someone had picked up on it sooner, I wouldn't have the life that I have now. I wouldn't have the insight that I have now. I wouldn't have I don't call it a job, I call it a calling. I wouldn't have the calling that I have now, because I wouldn't have lost my hair and then wore wigs and then found out how to make wigs to help other people. Do you know what I mean? What's that cat doing? Chewing on something it shouldn't be. Yeah, like I also wonder if, I can only say if, because it's not guaranteed that I'll get a diagnosis, but if I do get this diagnosis, what will it change? I mean, obviously it won't change me, I will still be me. But it's like one of these, how like, so I just get comfy. How like everyone's always saying, life's a journey. And I've been on so many journeys already in life. I just wondered if I'm able to cope with another one. But if I get this diagnosis, it will give me something that I can really delve into, so that possibly I can help other people. Because if it turns out I am autistic, then I will research it and share a lot of content with anyone that wants to watch. When my husband was diagnosed autistic, he looked on YouTube to find, autistic adults, because, getting ahead of myself there. When he found out he was autistic, there wasn't a lot of, helpful resources or autistic adult resources that he could find, because most of the things that you read online is geared towards children and, their diagnoses, and, help for them, but, obviously we're not children. And so I'd like to think that because I'm able to do, YouTube and film things and edit things, I'll be able to share, some insight about how the autistic brain works and things. Yeah, because I know that not everyone is comfortable with being on camera and things. It doesn't bother me now. It used to, but it doesn't. Yeah, so that's kind of a roundup of what's been going on in my mind recently. And again, thank you so much to the people that got in touch about, my cat passing away and the event that happened the other week when me and my husband left a restaurant. I've not heard anything back from the police yet, so if I do, not when, there's no guarantees. If I hear anything back, I'll let you know. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for your support. It means everything. So I am going to go and finish this. I'll show you, and finish making this hairpiece. So this piece, it will sit up here somewhere when it gets sent to the salon and it gets fitted. Look at this. Lovely, isn't it? Look how shiny it is. I'll just part it so you can see what it looks like. So every single strand has been hand knotted into the lace base. And of course it's very time consuming. Let's see if I can show you that. Lovely, isn't it? Even if I do say so myself. So all I have left to do is this little strip here. And then that one will get sent back. And then I've got, I can't even remember how many I've got left after that, but I'll be fully busy until August. So I will be one very happy lace wig maker. If you want to follow my wig making page, I've got one on Instagram. And I will link that in the description. So yeah, that brings me to the end of this vlog, video, film, whatever you want to call it. I hope some of it's made sense, and if it has, I'd really love to know what your thoughts are about it in the comments, because I can never know how these videos do unless I see, people's feedback. So I would love your feedback. And also, if any of the new people here, just say hello. It'd be lovely to reply back to you. Yes, so we've made it to the end, and I'm still in one piece, and I'm not shaking or anything. It's been good to get all of that out. It's good to talk. So if you're new here, someone new, subscribe. You can do that by tapping the link below, which is in red. That turns grey when you click it. And I'll leave a sticker at mine with my face on it. You can tap that, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, and that will let you know when I upload. Yeah? Well, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, peeps. Bye.